Thank you for coming to support the Edge Cafe. It's funny to think that all of this was sparked by a pink drink served here at the cafe. The Edge Cafe demonstrates the possibility of recovery from substance misuse for people reconstructing their lives and for the wider community. As well as being a great place for hospitality, it is a host to activities like writing groups. It was during the break in one of these writing groups that ordering a Wild Encounter tea raised a cheeky smile, and the pink concoction of red berries and tropical fruit continued to amuse a few of us from the writing class who wished to collaborate on a creative writing anthology. By opening up the anthology to submissions, we hope to mirror the inclusive ethos of the cafe. When it came to picking a theme for the third anthology, with the running joke still going strong, Wild Encounter seemed a natural choice. This evening we will read poems in the book and take a break halfway through. During the break, the Edgewords Wild Encounter and the Edgewords Renewal Anthologies, which was the anthology from last year, will be on sale at £5 a copy, with all proceeds going to the Edge Cafe. I hope you enjoy this evening.
Hi. Sadly Dot couldn't be here today, so I'm going to read her poem for her, and this is called My Storm. I feel weightless, lying with my spine pressed against the ground, the world rotating without a sound, my vision spinning around and around. Raindrops fall, shattering soundlessly. I turn my face, tilted up towards the sky. I get a mouthful of thunder, racking the shell of my body again and again. Hair plastered to my head, I lie there, palms pressed flat on the chilling concrete. I am just watching the world break above me.
Okay, my wild encounter. Out of my league, like a donkey with a carrot and stick. Can't take my eyes off of you. I want you now, more than ever. You cannot evade me. My holy grail atop the mountain, just beyond my reach. Everything is focused on this one tiny point. In this moment, nothing else matters. Nothing can stop me now. Eyes wide, watching your every move. I want you in my mouth, on my tongue. All my ambition, intention, drive is aimed towards this ultimate pleasure. Why won't you let me reach you, take you, hold you? Enemies encircle me, ready to impale. I won't let them deter me. I've come too far. I'm too invested in you. You are mine, not theirs. My icing on the cake, my pièce de résistance. Stretching up onto the tips of my toes, arms reaching, back extending, my tongue edging out between my lips, teeth sinking into the pink speckled flesh. I strain for the gleaming amethyst, succulent, plump, tempting, bursting with richness, swaying on the gentle breeze, teasing, bobbing to and fro. My feet shuffle, edging forward, prickles and stings in my knees, through thin tights offering scant protection. But I don't care anymore. I just want you, and I want you now. Extending my limbs beyond their capabilities, on point in wellies, my skin snags through my woolen jumper, tears a little. I suck air between my teeth, clamping them on my tongue. A droplet of blood oozes. I taste metal, but still, I reach for my ultimate goal. Sunlight gleaming through translucent droplets, I long for you to burst and stain me with your purple juices. A bunch of iridescent grapes for the gods, not for the likes of a mere mortal like me.
I wrote this at Wildfire Wetlands Trust at Welney, out on the ooze washes. I long to rest in this nest of noises. Lay my head on the ledge and be blanketed by wing beats. Each sound has me drifting, my mind making quiet, rippling out across the water. Wagtails at my edges. Goldfinches charm me into shining sleep as the lagoon laps at my mind. Even the geese will still, and their honking send me slumbering on a bed of down. The birds will keep me safely, and just as I wash away, a kingfisher will flash by, so I know this is a dream.
There you go. Thank you. This poem is called, I'll just find it. Okay. Thank you. This poem is called What Bird Song Taught Me. What I remember was the robin. On that cold February morning he perched, redbreast puffed up, on a bare hawthorn branch, singing out his sweet, oblivious song, ignorant of our grief or gladness, just a bird repeating a melody. It was only me who stopped to listen. There was a wake to get to, cake to eat. Noticing him, I saw the world afresh, began to wonder what might happen if I cared a little less for formalities and sang more instead.
Along an orchestra of tranquility, our punt traverses majestically, seeing Cambridge's history scribed upon a mirror-sheen green cam, across dimensions of relativity to nature's regalia, whispering our passage beneath clouds forever pressing, the sun's toying embrace. Idly, two lovers and best friends, woven in their love's procession, are blessed by benevolent gods for their sharing call with man's heart and soul, whilst digitally photographing our dreamy world of bridges. To sigh.
Tending into indolence. Tuesday afternoon, stippled drizzle pattered the sitting room window. Enveloped comfy in the big warm sofa, she jiggled the glasses on her nose and gazed down again at the story in her notebook. The cat, plump and lazy, dawdled into her lap, snuggled down contented. The phone on the coffee table began to purr. Her heart shimmered as she saw the caller ID. It was her neighbour 2 doors down, the kind widower who sometimes politely flirted with her. She thought she could hear the glimmer of his genial smile as he spoke. He said nice things about what the council had done to his central heating. Bleeding, he said, bleeding the radiators. His voice glowed like a late embers in her ear, inconsequential, radiating inertia. And then he paused. They exchanged a few more pleasantries about the weather and their respective cats, and then, cheerio then, my dear, unexpected, click, gone, silence. Coaxing the cat from her limpid lap, she gazed down again at her story. She hovered indifferently over the final line. She dickered with diction, shuffled and swapped words, then letters, until she was sure she thought she knew what she meant. Then she said it out loud. It was safe to say it had been a quite mild encounter. Thank you. Next up is Chris Wellams with a lovely poem called Pigeon.
A few of us have chosen to write about birds, which is nice. I like birds. This is a short poem about the much misunderstood pigeon. It's called Pigeon. Pigeon, lamp post loafer, oak tree clatterer. Pigeon. Then shifting and rolling into hawkish magnificence, all barrel-chested and full of majesty. Pigeon. Quantum avian conundrum, I bring you into existence as any rare bird. But you are pigeon.
Thank you very much. This is a poem I wrote about. I've been writing a few different poems about things in my street. So this is one of the characters in my street. And I thought it fitted with the theme of Wild Encounter. When I heard sprat, sprat, it was Boxing Day, and I looked about for what the woman on the street was exasperated at. There was a flash of brown that dashed through the thin gaps of someone's garden fence. Whizzing around the shrubs like a dizzily deflating balloon, it came spinning out as easily as it got in. A puppy, not much bigger than a potato, with a mind of its own and more energy than a string of high-powered Christmas lights. What a character! Defiantly hurtling around the frosty estate in joyful swirls, spelling out letters that know no bounds. Thank you.
Get the right page. Wild encounter, or was it a trigger? Wild encounter, or was it bigger? Yes, it was. You just quiver. He smashed on drugs. Don't get nearer. Say hi from a distance. You're the man that's bigger. You're something new. Carry on that figure. I end this sentence. You're a winner, winner, winner.
The scrap, I'd like to say, first of all, it was a schoolboy scrap. It wasn't a couple of weeks ago. And it ended up quite nicely in the end. And so, what an encounter, wild and raging, punches thick and fast, left hook, right cross. Could I outlast this onslaught? Ducking and swaying, looking for an opening. Method quite wrong, caught a heavy one. He was smaller than I, but quicker by far. Then one shot got home. I had atoned. Head held high, an honourable draw forevermore.
So this is called Love Song to a Cellar Spider. It would be too obvious to call her Ariadne. She weaves webs differently, not circular, but vast and loose. not in the way most people think. Their knowledge of her relies on ignorance. Their lack of understanding of her family stinks. Ridiculously, you tell me how scary she and her kin are, invading your home, seeking warmth and, yes, a mate. She'd rather get sexy in a cosy room, wouldn't you? Aren't humans the same? So why do you call her horrible names, seek to kick her out, or worse, try to kill my 8-legged friend? This hatred has to end, and it would do if I were your queen. I'd make a new arachnid protection law. You'd have to be respectful of her. She'd always be welcome inside your door. Imagine for a moment you're not afraid, not spooked by the way she moves, not unsettled by the way she hangs upside down from the ceiling. Rather than look away, under my law, you'd find her appealing. You'd be amazed by her delicate, elegant perfection, how expertly she sneaks up on that wasp, catching it swiftly without detection. She's readied herself for reproduction, spreading her alluring pheromones along her threads, attracting every passing virile male until she chooses one. She's not a one-chap-only kind of gal. She needs sperm, and he'll chuck out his rival's donations. He's not looking for a pal. He wants to father the next generation. Soon she'll mix them with her eggs, wrap them in a cloak of silk, walk them round in her jaws until they hatch and need to feed. She'll watch, protect, and nourish her up to 30 brood, stocking a small pantry with tasty food, feeding them tenderly until they're strong enough to go. I'll be watching, I'll be admiring her. I love her so.
Like a lover, warm, enticing, mysterious. Come, they said. With arms open wide, they beckoned. Don't be afraid, they said. I trembled on the threshold and let the warm sun bathe my body. Wake up, they said. They flirted, winked, gave me glimpses of their cool dark shadows. Again I hesitated. Why be afraid, they said. I knew I would be soul-consumed by their wild embrace. Yet I knew I would take that step. But would it be this time? Their dark sensuality resonated on my soul. Their energies played with my mind. Come, they said. I moved closer, breathing deeply, sensing all. Come, play with us, they whispered. I resisted no longer. I stepped over that green, soft threshold into their all-consuming embrace. I lay down in their arms, in their mantle of green. Their spirit and mine became one, as I gave my body and soul to the dark mysteries of the woods.
Okay, so this summer I had the pleasure of visiting the Lost Gardens of Heligan in Cornwall. I don't know if any of you have been there, but if you have, you may have seen this splendid woman who lies sleeping in the woodland, and she's called Mudmaid. To sleep as you sleep, your sonic side immersed, while over the root-ribbed ground your body arcs and dips, naked except for the season. Sari of ivy, kimono of snow, the evergreen blaze of your moss fro. To speak as you speak, your giant silence a cradle for the breath beat in your bower, prom in prayer with the land, ear to the chest of the earth, your fury unveiling as reveries flit from the smile-shaded seam of your lips.
Will they ever dig him up, do you think? Those digging in the dark eologists. Old Barner bones under the hill, old Barker bone in the darkened light, with his burnt timber ribs, burnt black ridgepole, spining away in the peat black night, while far above the conqueree hedge sows suckles her starry hoblets. Swiftly a swallow, almost one with its shadow, its path implying insects too small for me to see. Tiny particles of nutrition, order, life. The ragged rain of old Boney Barn, still beating under the heath. Change again, turn again, on again, trot, some to be born and some to rot. Old Buster Bones got me in his greyhound jaws again. My feet tangled like roots in peat again. Rain drools down my neck and out my fingers, pale and slippery as fungus. My ankle, in old break-apart's man-trap, snapped dirtily like a penciled sharpened too sharp. That noise they make, splut, as if you'd read aloud the mark the breaking makes. What's left to me now but to tree me, to be me, to now you can't see me. I'm too close, I'm everywhere, I'm gone. Bark on my bones, behind the barn, cracked and damp, half buried, and that smell. Thank you very much for coming and listening to this anthology. Thank you to all the people who came to read their lovely work, their amazing work.